Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we are on day 134, Psalm 134 of our daily psalm reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. As you can see, we are on Psalm 134. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 17th of March 25 and we're on a Monday. You can find the previous 133 psalms in the playlist below. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one of these videos are unedited and also probably stumble on a word in. Let's get started. Come bless the Lord, a song of ascent. Come bless the Lord, all your servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hand to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made heaven and earth. So that is Psalm 134 complete. And tomorrow we will be doing Psalm 135. So for those who are new to the channel, I split up the videos into 3 parts. So the first part is reading the psalm. The second part we talk about the psalm's time periods. And then the third part is where we talk about the psalm that we just read, which is 134. So with the time periods of the psalms, they're written over 1,000-year time period. And historians and scholars do have an idea of when some of the psalms were written. Bear in mind there's 150 psalms in the book of Psalms. So there are quite a number of psalms where they don't. And I'll explain why in a second. With a chunk of psalms, they do know the author of the psalms, they do know the time period it was written in and the event that was linked to it. And that is very helpful for those who are like myself, who do like to be able to have an idea and visualise how things were at that time period. And it is very helpful. But there are going to be those psalms where they don't have a time period linked to it, but there is an event linked to it. And that event could be anything from captivity in the Babylonian exile, could be just general conflict and war that's going on, could be during a king's reign, could be famine, just general issues going on in the world at that time. And they can obviously then, they don't obviously know when it was written, but they obviously have the idea of the event, so they then know the roundabout time that it would have been written. So it'd be like during this particular time period, but when exactly we don't know, but it was during this event, so it could have been during this particular king's reign, things like that basically. And then you have the third one where they don't actually know the time period of the psalms and they don't have an event linked to it, so they don't know really what time period that those psalms were written in. They just know that that psalm was written, and the purpose of that psalm is to be obviously in the book of Psalms. That's generally how it is. There's obviously going to be translation problems. I don't want to say problems, but issues with translation to be able to know when the psalms are written. They're written in a poetic language, so the style of writing also doesn't help to be able to understand when they were written. That's generally how it is. So with Psalm 134, it was written, it was likely to have been written after the Babylonian exile, and that was around about 536 BC. And it was sung by pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem to worship at the temple. And we kind of know that. I say we kind of know that, because even though it didn't actually state it as this is it, The house of the Lord is the temple, basically. So, come bless the Lord, all your servants of the Lord. So obviously the servants are being the pilgrims who stand by the night in the house of the Lord. Obviously this would have been more than likely during the night, and the house of the Lord being obviously the temple. So that's generally how we know that it was written by that's pilgrims even, and they were like obviously on the road to Jerusalem to worship in the temple, and the temple being the house of the Lord. And the kind of theme to it is obviously just that pilgrims going out there singing this as a song, because psalms can be sung, and that was generally what it was actually back in that time period when the Bible was written, when the book of Psalms was written. They were generally primarily sung, but they can be written, like not written, spoken even. So that's generally how it is. It was, pilgrims were going on their way to sing it, going on the way to Jerusalem, and they were singing these songs. But it encourages constant praise and service to God regardless of time and circumstances. Because we obviously need to praise the Lord and have our service to Him, and it doesn't matter on time and circumstances. It doesn't really make any ounce of difference when you decide when you're going to become a servant of the Lord, because generally speaking we are all children of God, so technically we are servants of the Lord. But obviously we kind of, even back then, they wasn't very forthcoming of it, so to say. So it was very much a thing of coming away from it, and then there were those that were trying to come close to Him. So that's when it's about the service and being a servant of Him. And it doesn't matter on time or circumstances. It doesn't really make any ounce of difference, because at the end of the day God knows when is the right time for us to come to Him, generally speaking. That is how it is. So that is Psalm 134 complete. I will now write in the day and the date, which is the 17th of March. Thank you for watching. Please like my content. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. And I'd really appreciate it if you could like my content as well. Please turn on the notification bell so you then get notified of content like this that gets uploaded to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.